So you did everything right. Climbed the corporate ladder, achieved new roles, doubled your salary. So why does wealth still feel so far out of reach? I spent years doing exactly that. Better roles, bigger paycheck, but still working harder. And every time I hit a new level, I thought this would finally be the one that would make my financial treadmill slow down. It never did. Here's the part we were never told. A bigger paycheck isn't a wealth strategy. It's just a faster treadmill. I didn't buy back my time by working harder. I bought it back the day I started owning assets that paid me whether I showed up to work or not. If you're successful on paper, but still trading your precious time for dollars, still wondering why your career success doesn't feel like freedom, this video is for you. Because the real problem isn't your work ethic, it's not your salary, it's not your job title, it's that you were only ever taught one way to think about money. And I'm going to show you the other one. I'm Nick, and I was a multi-six-figure earner postponing my life until retirement. Now I'm creating a movement to help working professionals crush their limiting beliefs about money and build a portfolio of real assets that enable you to get off the financial treadmill and start building wealth for a life you can enjoy now. If this is where you want to be, please like and subscribe below. So before we discuss the real path to wealth and freedom, we have to start with the whole idea of a career. The whole problem with a career is that it only has one lever, your time. Every single step of that path, the degree, the job, the promotion, it's trading more of your life's hours for more dollars per hour. That's the whole mechanism. You're selling your most precious asset, your time, for an infinite resource, money. And here's the trap. The better you get that path, the harder it is to see if there's ever even another one. I would get a new role so the system felt like it was working. I would get a raise so it felt like progress. But progress toward what? I was still capped at the same ceiling everyone on that path hits. And that's you only have 24 hours in a day. So let's follow this path all the way to the end because most people never actually walk it out. This is where the math lands you. You work for 30, 40 years. When you get there, what's waiting for you? For most people who followed that path exactly as instructed, it's barely enough. That's not a failure of effort. The frustrating truth is that people who end up there often work harder than anyone. They just work harder inside a system that was never designed to make anyone wealthy. It was designed to make us stable. Stable and wealthy are not the same thing, and nobody tells you that until you're standing at the end of the path wondering where your life went. That's the part that should frustrate you, not because working a job is wrong, but because you were told that this was the only way, when it was just the default way. So what is the other path? Here's the fork in the road that we're not taught in school. Instead of only trading your time for money, you can build assets that make money without your time attached to them. That's the path to real wealth. It's not more complicated than that. It's just never taught because it doesn't fit neatly into a classroom, and it's not what keeps a big corporation or company staffed. An asset, in the simplest terms, is anything that pays you whether you show up or not. A job pays you because you show up. The second you stop showing up, that income stops. An asset breaks that slavery. It keeps paying you while you can actually go live and enjoy your life. When I first thought about building assets, I got a little nervous because build assets sounds scary or reserved for people who already have money. It's not. It just means picking the proper investment vehicle and starting. And in my experience, there are three that have built more financial independence than almost anything. Owning a business, investing in real estate, utility-based cryptocurrencies. Those are the top three. So let's look at the first one, a business. A business is simply a system that solves a problem for people. And once it's built, it can run and generate income with your involvement shrinking over time. This is the vehicle I personally know best as an entrepreneur. I helped take a residential electrical company, the owners of which were not electricians, from 0 calls scheduled with $0 in revenue to in under 3 years, we did $4 million a year in revenue. I built the entire sales process and became the growth engine that completely changed owners' lives as well as my own. And now it has enabled me to do what I love, which is coaching working professionals that were in the same boat I was in to build assets that enables you to build lasting wealth and a lifestyle you can enjoy now. If this is something you want to get started on, check out my free training below. It's called the Millennial Money Freedom Training. It's a condensed excerpt from my actual coaching program I use with paid clients, and it helps you crush your limiting beliefs about money, adopting the truths about money that help rewire your brain to start seeing opportunities around you, and the 4 assets I like in this generation to build wealth. So the second one I'm covering in this video is real estate. Real estate is the classic cash flow foundation. You own something tangible, tenants or the market pays you to hold it, and it appreciates in value over time while it pays you monthly. There are too many benefits of real estate to cover in just one video, but one critical one people miss is this. When purchased using fixed rate debt, You repay the loan with money that has lost purchasing power. Since the interest rate is locked, your repayment amounts remain the same. But the real economic cost to service the debt shrinks as inflation and currency devaluation erode the value of that dollar that is paying the debt back. And it's the tenant that is paying it back for you, all while building you equity and cash flow. Amazing, right? The reality is, it's not passive on day one, but becomes some of the most durable, predictable income you can build. This is why I'm buying at least one rental property a year for the next 8 to 10 years. The strategy being holding the majority of these properties for the long term and then potentially selling off 2 or 3 of them around that 8 to 10 year mark so I can pay down the other mortgages faster and increase the overall cash flow of the total properties. See, it's not the number of doors you own that matters, but the level of cash flow they can make to allow you to live the life you desire on your terms without having to show up to a job. So the third asset vehicle I've used is utility-based cryptocurrencies. This is the asymmetric growth category. Small amounts of capital into an emerging asset class can compound in ways traditional savings vehicles simply can't when approached with real strategy instead of speculation. That is why I only invest in utility-based cryptocurrencies with fixed supply. Now, none of what I say here is financial advice, right? It's simply for educational purposes only and is only my opinion. What I will say is between now and around 2032, the entire global financial system will be tokenized on the blockchain. That means everything from livestock, water rights, real estate, precious metals, stocks, debts, etc. will all have a digital representation that can be traded and transacted in real time. The digital financial infrastructure is the rails making this happen, and the main cryptocurrencies I invest in that are built to handle these requirements are XRP, XLM, and HBAR. In my coaching program, I help you position properly and get into the exact allocations, a growth roadmap, and exit strategies for these cryptocurrencies that will provide generational wealth for you and your family. These three assets all have one thing in common though. They all have a fixed supply. Business, if you own a business, what it solves and performs for marketplace is unique. Real estate, because there's only so much land in areas people want to live, so it has a scarce fixed supply. And utility-based cryptocurrencies are solving real-world problems. They have a fixed supply. Again, scarcity. This scarcity and fixed supply means they will grow during inflationary economic times, like the times we live in, and will allow you to live a wealthy life now and into the future, regardless of the devaluation of the dollar. None of these require you to quit your day job tomorrow. None of them require you to already be rich. What they require is redirecting the same energy you're already spending trying to climb the corporate ladder towards something that keeps paying you after you stop climbing. So I want to be really clear about something because it's the part most financial content skips. The goal was never just make more money. Plenty of people make a lot of money on that linear path and are still completely out of time. They just have a more expensive version of the same treadmill. The actual goal, the thing that changes your life, is time freedom. Time freedom is what happens when your income is no longer dependent on your hours. It's the ability to take a Tuesday off without asking anyone's permission. It's not being one layoff away from your entire life changing in a negative way. It's building a life where work is something you choose, not something you're chained to. That's the shift that happened for me. It wasn't a single windfall or lucky break. It was the moment my income stopped being 100% tied to me physically showing up somewhere. Once assets started paying me independent of my job, I wasn't just buying stuff with the extra income, I was actually buying back the hours of my own life. That's a completely different kind of wealth than a bigger paycheck ever gave me. And that's really the whole point of this video. And what I teach people in my coaching program is to show you that there's a second track running parallel to the one you're currently on. And the people who end up with both money and time freedom are the ones who got on the second track early, even in small ways, while still walking on the first one. So what does actually building the second path look like practically? It starts small, and it starts alongside your current income, not instead of it. You don't need to replace your salary on day one. You simply need to start. Start directing what you already earn in a portion of your time towards something that will eventually pay you without showing up. For me, it meant investing myself and starting to learn the fundamentals of real estate investing while still working full time. So my first property purchase wasn't a gamble, but an informed decision. It meant I started my coaching business on nights and weekends around a skill I already had. The same way sales knowledge became the foundation for the systems I later built for other companies, it also meant allocating a smaller intentional percentage of my income into these growth assets like utility-based cryptocurrencies, not as a lottery ticket, but as one piece of a broader asset strategy, owning a piece of the rails of the new financial system. The common thread in all of this is the same. You stop treating your paycheck as the finish line and start treating it as the fuel for something that outlasts the job. That's the identity shift that actually matters here. Going from someone who earns an income to someone who owns income producing assets. That shift is available to you right now today, regardless of your current title or salary, because it's not about how successful you are, how much you make. It's where your money goes after you make it. And the right mindset and education will make it work for you. So here's the answer to why even try if you're already successful and still not wealthy yet. You're not behind because you didn't work hard enough. You're not wealthy yet because you were only ever handed one piece of the roadmap. And that roadmap only had one road on it. The people who end up with both money and time aren't smarter than you. They usually didn't start with more money than you. They just found that second road. And that's the road I found, the one that builds assets instead of hours. And I started walking it while everyone else kept trotting down the road they've been shown. That's exactly what I'm building out for myself right now. And it's what I want to help you do too. Not by telling you to abandon your career, but by showing you how to build a second income engine alongside it. One that eventually buys back the very thing that your job can never give you back, your time. If this hit something for you, stick around. I put together a free training called the Millennial Money Freedom Program. It's a condensed piece of my actual program I walk paying clients through to rewire their limiting beliefs about money and start building real wealth now, not someday. The link's below. Go watch it because the road I just show you doesn't matter if the old program is still running in the background. It's time to rewire beliefs about money. I'll see you in the next one.